Still recovering from the holiday season of the Nintendo Switch? Well, that's too bad, because the month of March is right around the corner and there are a bunch more games coming out for the system. So in this video, I basically just want to spotlight the games I think look the best, and definitely the games that I'm looking forward to the most in the month of March for the Nintendo Switch. Now make sure you subscribe to the channel, because I am also debuting this platform with PS4 and Xbox One titles that should be up the next day after this video. So stick around for that. Make sure you check out the Dark Souls giveaway. I'm giving away a copy of Dark Souls Remastered in the comment section. It'll be the pinned comment, very easy to join, and you can win that copy of Dark Souls Remastered for your system of choice. Now, without any further ado, sit back, relax, and let's talk about the best upcoming Nintendo Switch games for the month of March 2018.
Hey, RGT 85. Hey, Sean.
Oh my God, it's Stevie Richards! The first game we have to talk about is easily one of my most anticipated games of March 2018 for the Nintendo Switch. It's a game that I've been following for quite a while. Ever since I saw the debut trailer of the game, I was like, wow, this looks really good. And it's an indie game, actually. The game is called Mulaka, and Mulaka looks like a 3D sort of action platformer game. I sort of get a vibe of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild from the art style of the game. It's got that cel-shaded art style, and I think it looks really good. It looks really clean, and it looks like it's going to be a really fun game. It's sort of based as you're playing a shaman who's removing some demigods from a region that have, overtaken the region and cast some evil stuff in there. It just looks like a really tight action platformer that's in a 3D realm, and I really love the art style of the game. Everything looks very alive, crisp, and vibrant. This is a game that I will be covering in full on the channel. I actually have a review copy of it. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to talk about it quite yet, but I think the game shows a lot of promise. It looks really good, it looks really clean, and I think it's a game that a lot of people are going to want to check out. And maybe it's sort of flying under the radar because the studio is a bit unknown and the game itself is a bit unknown, but I wanted to spotlight this game because I think Mulaka could end up being a surprise hit of March 2018. Like I said, Mulaka releases on March 6th, so you won't have to wait too long to get your hands on this game. I will have a review up for the game before the launch of the game, but I definitely wanted to implant the seed of Mulaka into your mind because I think it shows a lot of promise, and I think it's going to be a really good game. This next game releases on March 6th on the Nintendo Switch eShop, is available for other platforms, and it is a return of a series that has been gone for quite a while, honestly, and that is Fear Effect Sedna. Now, Fear Effect was a franchise that I grew up with. It was a really fun, very highly stylized adult game that sort of used the Resident Evil tank controls. There was Fear Effect 1 and 2 on the PS1, and they are top-notch games. I highly suggest you track those games down and check them out. There is talk about remasters for those games, and of course a sequel, but Fear Effect Sedna isn't really in that same sort of gameplay style. It uses the same characters, it definitely uses the same art style in a more highly refined format, but this is more of a game that looks sort of like Syndicate to me. If you've ever played Syndicate on the Atari Jaguar or Shadowrun on the Super Nintendo, games like that, where it has sort of a top-down view and it's more based on puzzle elements and stealth, and I think that could be a little bit off-putting to some people, but I think that's pretty cool, honestly. I think they're taking their time with the full Fear Effect game, and this is just sort of a snippet, something to whet your appetite. It is priced accordingly. I believe it's $18, and it looks just really solid. I love the art style of the game. I think the puzzles are going to be really creative and fun, and that's what really matters in this style of game. It looks like it's going to be a good time, definitely a mature rated experience as the previous Fear Effect games were, and I'm just glad to see Fear Effect is back in some way, shape, and form. A fantastic franchise that never really got its true chance to shine on the PS1. To see it coming out on the Nintendo Switch and other platforms is a very positive thing. So Fear Effect Sedna will be available on March 6th on your Nintendo Switch eShop, so make sure you check it out because I think it's going to be a really good game. Next up, we have Scribblenauts Showdown. Now, me personally, I probably won't pick up this game, but I did want to spotlight it because I do like Scribblenaut games. I think Scribblenaut games are really fun because they just give you a world of imagination. You could do pretty much whatever you want in these games, and they're always very satisfying in that aspect. But Scribblenauts Showdown is a little bit different. This is a multiplayer party game that has a lot of local multiplayer, and there's also like a sandbox mode where you can just create your own puzzles and have your friends solve them. It's definitely different than the standard Scribblenauts gameplay style, but I think the game like this is actually good for the Nintendo Switch and other platforms. You know, party games, they were very highly saturated on the Wii, let's face it, and it was to the point of where people are so against party games they don't even want to talk about them, but I don't think all party games are necessarily bad. I think this will be a pretty fun, solid experience. Scribblenauts has that good pedigree. That sandbox mode is probably going to be really fun because you can really get creative in there, and I'm interested to see how this game does and what it brings to the table. I haven't been following it too much, but I did want to mention it because I think it'll be a game that a lot of Switch owners that have local friends or maybe families will want to check out this game because I think it's going to be pretty solid. So Scribblenauts Showdown also comes out on March 6th. A lot of Nintendo Switch owners have March 16th circled on their calendar, and that's for good reason. That's when Nintendo's big game of the month is coming out, and that is Kirby Star Allies. Now, honestly, I've been a little bit harsh on Kirby Star Allies. I've said that it sort of looks a bit boring, and it's just playing it safe, and I stand by it, but I still think it's going to be a really good game. I do love 2D platformers. I do love Kirby games. My love for Kirby started with Kirby's Adventure on the NES, and I've been playing Kirby games. I've played even the weird ones like Canvas Curse and Rainbow Road, or whatever the hell the one that was called on the Wii U, and I've actually always enjoyed Kirby games, so more than likely I will enjoy Kirby Star Allies. I do wish they sort of would have done something maybe a little bit different, thought outside the box, but I think it's going to be a very solid 2D platformer. Kirby, of course, has the ability to inhale his enemies and take their abilities, and that always leads to some really fun gameplay experiences. So I'm really interested to see sort of how Kirby Star Allies turns out. You know, there's been some talk about the resolution being 1080p, 30 frames per second, but I think as long as it's smooth and as long as it's good, it's going to be a good solid game. Is it worth $60? That'll be interesting to see if a 2D platformer can sell for $60 in 2018, but if anyone could do it, it's probably Kirby. So Kirby Star Allies, March 16th, make sure you circle that on your calendar. The next game is probably a game that a lot of you guys already own, but if you've been on the fence about it or just waiting to pick it up, now is the best time to get it because on March 16th, Splatoon 2 Starters Edition launches. Now, the main difference between this and Splatoon 2 that came out last year is the fact that this comes with a 100-page art book that looks really cool and it has sort of a premium packaging to it. Now, as far as Splatoon 2 is concerned as a game, it is an excellent game. I did a full review of it on the channel and it's really enjoyable, and right now is probably the best time to get into the game. They've added a whole bunch of new maps, a whole bunch of new weapons, and it's all free DLC. So there's a lot of new things going on in the world of Splatoon 2. Even if you just haven't fired up your copy of Splatoon 2 in a while, I highly suggest you do it. It's still a very fun and interactive game. It's still a load of fun to play, and it just looks really good and plays really well. So Splatoon 2 Starters Edition, that'll hit on March 16th. So another game that you may want to check out for the Nintendo Switch. And the final game we're going to talk about is a game that I don't really know much about. It's based on an anime, and I'm not big into anime. I don't watch anime. I don't really know much about anime. But I do know one thing. This game looks pretty sweet, and that is Attack on Titan 2. Now, like I said, this is based off a very popular Japanese anime, and all I really know about it is there's these big titans, and you gotta like slash them down and stuff, and it looks really fun. Now, this is a multi-platform release that will be coming out on the PS4 and the Xbox One as well, but of course the Switch difference is that you could bring this copy of the game anywhere you go. And it looks like a really fun game. I love, you know, big towering creatures in my games and stuff like that. So I may end up checking it out, even though I don't really know anything about the anime. There's an online mode to it as well, where you can team up with friends and take down different titans and whatnot. It looks just like a solid game. It comes out on March 20th, sort of towards the end of the month. So if you're looking for something to pick up at the end of March, Attack on Titan 2 should definitely be on your watch list because I think it looks pretty cool. All right, and that is going to do it for the best Switch games of March 2018. I've picked some of the games that I think are going to be the real big highlights, but there's a ton of other games coming out as well, including eShop exclusives and whatnot. So there's a ton of stuff to be on the lookout for. If there's some good eShop games that end up coming out, of course I'll review it on the channel, but I just wanted to give you guys the basics of what was coming out in the month of March. Definitely the games you need to check out, and definitely the games that should be on your radar. Now, like I said at the beginning of this video, I will be introducing this format for the PS4 and the Xbox One as well, so be on the lookout for that in the next day or so. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on those notifications as well. We know what YouTube likes to do with notifications. And thank you for checking out this video. If you're new here, like I said, subscribe to the channel, leave me your thoughts in the comments section down below. Let me know what games you're going to pick up for your Switch in the month of March, what you think of the games on this list. Did I miss a game? Is there a game coming out that you're really anticipating that I didn't talk about and I need to know about? Let me know in the comments, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Later.
RGT 85, RGT 85. RGT 85.